Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief presented by Annapolis Subaru and the SPCA of Anne Arundel County. Welcome to my last day of carbs for the next 40 days and 40 nights, with a possible few exceptions. And also a note to the asshats that thought it would be cool to vandalize the SPCA's sign with misspelled words. Not cool. Not cool at all. All right, we do have some news today, so let's get into it, shall we? Well, here's a bit of an update on the sports betting at Michael's on the South River. Last night, the owners held a community meeting and did nothing to appease the uproar of the community. It was clear that the residents of Riva do not want gambling of any sort. They do not want the traffic, nor any of the potential increase in crime. They came loaded for bear with their facts, and to be honest, it seemed that the Kathy P. Hospitality Group may not have done all their homework. County Councilwoman Sharon Ledbetter told a resident that the current zoning will not allow that use and that a variance is not available and that the change in zoning would be needed to be legislated by the entire council. And according to another resident, 4 of the 7 council members have already told him that they would not support any zoning changes there. It looks like Michael's on the South River has a bit of a battle to fight before this will ever happen. It's not that often that I say this, but a legislator has introduced a bill that really makes a lot of sense. Delegate Melissa Wells wants to require landlords in Maryland to give a minimum of 120 days notice for any rent increase exceeding 4%. Now, most leases have a 30-day window, which puts many people in a very bad situation, and they're forced to make a very quick, usually a poor decision. This allows renters to have more time to find adequate housing for their needs. I know here in Annapolis, Nautilus Point was raising rents by 25 and 30% on some units as soon as the COVID rent freeze expired. And that really is just untenable. Governor Moore did something odd yesterday, I think. He declared yesterday the Civil Rights Heroes Day in Maryland and ordered all flags flown at half-staff. Yesterday marked the 128th anniversary of Frederick Douglass's death. Douglas's birth date is unknown, but they do believe that it was sometime in February. Certainly a Civil Rights Heroes Day makes a lot of sense, but why would you piggyback it on top of a federal holiday, President's Day? We talked about rent increases. Well, hang on to your wallets because BG&E wants more money too. They're looking for a 15% rate increase over the next 3 years, and they submitted rates to the PSC that average 5% per year between 2024 and 2026. They say that they are spending $6.9 billion in electric and gas projects to make their service more reliable. As we begin to wrap it up, I do need to get more tickets from Rams Head On Stage for Ticket Tuesday, but in the meantime, you do want to check out ramsheadonstage.com for all of the other upcoming shows, and there are some good ones. To make it up to y'all, I have 2 gift cards to Maggiano's Little Italy at the mall and 2 to Mother's Peninsula Grill over there in Arnold. All of them are $25. If you want them, DM me or email me, and I'm going to pick a few winners tonight. All right, that's a wrap, but first a quick thank you to you for listening and sharing and letting your friends and colleagues all know about the Daily News Brief, and to our sponsors for the Daily News Brief, Annapolis Subaru, the SPCA of Anne Arundel County, Solar Energy Services, Hospice of the Chesapeake, and Alpha Engineering. So now you need to hang tight because we have George Young from DCMDVA Weather standing by with your only locally forecast weather report, and back with a legal brief, Scott MacMullan from Scott MacMullan Law. All that coming up in just a bit.
Coping with advanced illness can be overwhelming, and determining the best options for a loved one isn't always so easy. But here at Hospice of the Chesapeake, your hometown hospice, we want you to know you do have a choice. You can choose exactly who provides the care and the type of care you receive, and it's your decision when and where your loved one receives that care. We have served our community, family, and friends for over 40 years. We are there when you need us. Learn how we can help at hospicechesapeake.org.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be, so you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, February 21st. Yesterday brought a great start to the work week for the Annapolis region with another day of warm temps, but today will be even warmer on gusty westerly winds as highs jump up into the mid-60s to maybe around 70 degrees in spots. Then temps will go in the opposite direction Wednesday with highs only in the mid-40s to low 50s with some rain expected before conditions do another about-face Thursday with sunshine and highs in the 75 to 80 degree range, followed by yet another abrupt turnaround Friday with breezy highs in the low to mid-50s ahead of a chance of rain with some sleet or snow mixing in Saturday with highs then only near 40 degrees before, you guessed it, skies clear a bit Sunday as temps jump right back up into the 55 to 60 degree range. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there today. Stay healthy and be safe. And don't forget, follow DCMDVA Weather on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, along with the website at dcmdvaweather.info. And definitely be sure to download the DCMDVA Weather app on all of your devices from either the Apple or Google App Stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
The benefits of a good night's sleep are well documented. Sleeping well prevents weight gain, improves concentration and creativity, and boosts the immune system. So, what keeps you up at night? If you run a business, then the security of your computer network may be one of those things. Threats like ransomware and phishing are becoming increasingly sophisticated and pose a real risk to any business. Don't let these cyber threats keep you up at night. At Alpha, they've been helping their customers sleep better for over 30 years by monitoring in real time and hardening network defenses. And for those irritating IT issues that arise every day, Alpha's just a phone call away, helping your business run smoothly and helping you sleep better, knowing Alpha is on guard. Give Alpha a call to see if they can ease your worries and help you get the rest you deserve. Find them at alphagetsit.com.
You never know when you might need an attorney. It could be when the lights light up on the police car behind you. Or maybe you have $1 million idea and need to incorporate. From wills and trusts to car wrecks and arrests, Scott MacMullan with the Annapolis-based Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, is here to offer some insight for you with today's legal brief.
Hello, Annapolis. This is Scott MacMullan. This is your legal brief. I'm going to be doing a series on parents and what they should be doing for their children from a legal standpoint. I'm a new papa. I have a 2.5-year-old and a 10-year-old daughter, and just going to give you some tips as a new parent, what you should be doing, middle age from my experience in the legal field, as well as when you're a quote-unquote old parent coming up here in a few years, I'm sure, a long time, I'm sure. So first today, and today is going to be new parents, soon thereafter middle of the road parents, and then we're going to have old parents after that. So this segment's on new parents. If you're expecting a new baby, it can be exciting and scary, but there's definitely some things you need to do to plan ahead. And one of those things, of course, is now's a good time to make an estate plan. Review your old estate plan or just have an estate plan is really important to update your will and your last will and testament, because you want to make sure your children or your soon-to-be child, new baby, is going to have a guardian. God forbid something happens. Look into purchasing life insurance as sort of as insurance if something, God forbid, happens. Apply for a birth certificate. This is important. You can do this mostly in the hospital. We did it at Anne Arundel Medical Center. You can apply for a birth certificate. And you can even, if you work with a financial advisor, a lot of times you can set up a custodial account where you can start funding your child's education before they're even born. So that's kind of cool to look into as well. Add your child to your health insurance. This is important for obvious reasons. Make sure you're authorizing the right people for child care. Make sure you give them the correct child care authorization. So you need to look into that. Feel free to call an attorney to talk more about that. start saving for college, which I touched on this before. You can do this a lot of times before the child is even born, but you can certainly do it once you get the Social Security number. So you should apply for the Social Security number as soon as possible, and or work with your financial advisor of getting a custodial account. Take advantage of tax breaks. There are tax credits and deductions related to children. You can file for a dependency exemption beginning with the tax year your child is born. However, the credit phases out for higher earners. There is also a child tax credit for single filers who earn up to $240,000 and married filers who earn up to $440,000. When exactly should new parents start their family legal planning? They should do it as soon as possible, if not before, what I talked about before, even before they're born. So look into that. Start saving for college. Get some life insurance. Get a birth certificate, health insurance, child care authorization. Think about tax breaks. These are all things you need to start considering once that baby's on its way, and of course once the babies come. So congratulations. Please share this if people just want some basic tips on what to think about. And of course, we're going to be coming up and talking about middle-age parents, if it's or maybe younger parents, or maybe the most important way to call it is their children are a little bit older. They're in their teens, college, and maybe they're even in their 20s as adult children. But we're going to be talking about that in the next segment that's coming up here. So, of course, this is just information. This is not advice. If you seek advice or need some help with your estate plan, feel free to give us a call at Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, at 443-494-9775. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon for the next segment.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.